I'm Jach, one of the co-announcers here at the Dixie Motor Speedway presented by Draper Auto, Chevrolet and Toyota out of Rock and Night Racing at 2.5 hours, great car count, great crowd.
Despite the weather, we had a great crowd of people that came out, braved the weather, and of course we had the Birch Run Chamber of Commerce here giving away a bunch of bikes to a bunch of really lucky kids out in the crowd. It was a very good night of racing from top to bottom with the Turbo Blue Michigan Legends that were here tonight.
20 very young kids got to go home with some fun toys to play with, hopefully when the weather is going to be nice and sunny tomorrow. With that being said, Chris, we're going to get right into the racing action tonight. It started off with the feature action of the Michigan Turbo Blue Legend Series. We'll be here 3 more times. Certainly, John Turball Jr. was certainly the class of the field. He and Chance Rice battled hard tonight. I know you were kind of busy with giving away the bikes, but what did you see in that battle with them before Tony Mungie got into the back of John Turnbull and they both went to the back?
That's right, a side-by-side battle between Turnbull and Chance Rice for the lead, lap after lap. Both former series champions, both great drivers, and thanks to a little help from Tony Mungie, Chance Rice was able to pick up the win.
Certainly with that, they're going to be back 3 more times this year. We're looking forward to it, no matter where they go. If it's my home track, the Angola Motor Speedway, Wausau Speedway, your home track, they certainly put on a good show. And the big thing was Turnbull and Chance Rice, before that happened, were swapping the lead back and forth, and that's typical Michigan Legends racing.
That's right, those guys very close, very competitive, and I'm excited to have them out here a few more times this season at the Dixie Motor Speedway.
Up next in the racing action, we have the Jeremiah Weed Racer Chick Pro Late Model class here at the Dixie Motor Speedway, presented by Draper Auto out of Saginaw, Michigan. What was your feedback on that?
Well, it's a very interesting feature, including a very great side-by-side battle between Jay Reinbold and Blake Childers for quite a while. And of course, there was a little bit of controversy, as always, in the world of racing. But in the end, Ed Dutry Jr. got to pick up the win, his first of the season.
Certainly, the car count is the big thing tonight. Last week, we only had 14 cars in the Pro Late Model division. Tonight, we had 18 cars. A lot of guys shaking some cars down. We expect that class to grow right around 20, 22 cars regular basis throughout the summer.
That's right, always one of the strongest classes here at the Dixie Motor Speedway, and no doubt it'll grow even more as the season goes on.
Certainly, up next was the the Frankenmuth Brewery Street Stock Division. Certainly, fast time tonight set by Jake Haverly. But he had a lot of work to do. He couldn't get around in the one car of Al Boytel Jr.
That's right, and of course the call has to go out to Jay Woolworth, a member of the Michigan Motorsports Hall of Fame, legendary driver from right here in Birch Run. Led a ton of laps, was out in front, and broke a tie rod, and was forced to retire while leading the race.
The great thing about that is we had some new cars. We had a couple more cars than what we did last week. I believe we had 8 cars in the class last week. We had 11 tonight. And again, as the summer grows, the car counts are going to grow at the Dixie Motor Speedway. Had close to 50 cars tonight, but the Frankenmuth Brewery Street Stocks were probably almost stealing the show with Al Boytel Jr. and Jay Caverly. Just couldn't get enough to get around them.
That's right, it was a whale of a battle between Boytel and Caverly, lap after lap, and they finished 1-2 in last week's feature as well. So quite a bit of interest, and it could be a very interesting battle throughout the season between those two. And then, of course, to close out the night, the 2011 debut of the Sharkwater Shots Tropical Liqueur Pro Stock Division. Not a huge field, but a very talented field of drivers that were out there tonight.
Certainly, you're going to have to help me out here because I certainly know that there's a lot more cars out there, and that, 8 cars strong tonight. But as you said in the feature, it was the class of drivers in the field, maybe not the amount of cars that was here tonight.
That's right, 2008 track champion Kevin Harder, 2-time defending track champion Don Riley, 2-time Wausau Speedway champion Tony Vassalone, and of course John Diffel, who was runner-up last season out here, developing into a very talented driver. And of course the young guns like Nicole Korbinski and Jake Thompson. And then of course you have stalwarts of the division like Brad McGathy Sr. out there, and it made for a very interesting feature race.
Certainly with that, we expect that class to grow over the weeks. Tonight, not on the card, we want to give a shout out to the O'Glenn Family Funeral Home Modifieds. Certainly, who won it last week? You're going to have to bail me out on that.
It was Jordan Pruitt from Gaylord, Michigan.
2-hour trip here. And Sunday, we have a big show coming up. The Eve of Destruction, brought to you by Muffler Man of Birch Run, Michigan. So certainly fill in the fans on our Facebook here on what's going to happen on Sunday.
That's right. Basically, we're going to watch stuff hit other stuff. Figure 8 buses, figure 8 trailer races, Dixie crash cars, flagpole races, spectator drag, the 50-lap enduro. So many insane races. Cars doing things that cars shouldn't do for a couple hours out here at the Dixie Motor Speedway. Starts at 5 o'clock, and you definitely want to be there and show up early If you have a favorite seat that you want, it's going to be tough to find.
And we got to remember, this is a rain, snowstorm, whatever you want to say. It's a rain or shine event Sunday, 5 o'clock. Be here. I know I'm excited. I know you're excited. Patrick, he just can't keep his emotions intact on the microphone tonight. He's more excited than the two of us.
That's right. And the only way we're going to lose this show is if we apocalypse out.
With that being said, we want to highlight coming up on May the 27th, a big show coming up for the Dixie Motor Speedway, the return of the super late models, the Jeremiah Weed and Great Lakes Helicopter Super Late Model class will be here with defending champion Mike Root. And as well, we're going to work on some guys from the south from my home track. If TRA is not racing that night, you can guarantee I'm going to be all over the Hurricane, Scott Hans, as well. Mike Kubler, who almost won the Summer Sizzler at the New Paris Speedway, and the East Side guys certainly will be here as well.
That's right. Steve Fobbe, Harold Fair Jr., Tim Felber, legends in this sport, legends on this side of the state, great drivers, and it'll be an interesting mix of east, west, south, everything, an amalgamation of the greatest drivers in the area, May 27th.
Well, that being said, we had a lot of fun tonight. We want to thank our loyal fans that came out to the Dixie Motor Speedway, brought to you by Draper Auto, Chevrolet, and Toyota of Saginaw. Chris, take her home.
All right, on behalf of Andy Jach, I'm Chris Fobbe. Thanks for watching.